Beef tongue is a big deal in Sendai, apparently. I am Chris with the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom February 6, 2022, available on Stardom World. This show was a smaller touring show for Stardom, but there was a challenger for the SWA belt setup, along with a mini preview of the upcoming Wonder of Stardom white belt title match between Sayaka and Natsupoi. A handful of wrestlers were not on the show, so there were some changes to the card. This was a multi-camera show with no commentary. The first match on the card was Waka versus Kaguma. Before the match, Waka was annoyed about the change on the card and also wanted everyone to see the grape juice she was drinking. To start the match, Kaguma tried to get Waka to do the bear ears. Waka said no, then turned her back. It was then that Kaguma tried to roll up Waka, but was unable to get the pin. This enraged Waka. For most of the rest of the match, it was mostly Waka beating up Kaguma, lots of boots, suplexes, and submission attempts. And while Waka was in control for the most part, it was Kaguma who got the pin. Kaguma did a sunset roll through into her special pin, the side roll up, that has been renamed the Kuma roll, for the sneaky pinfall win. The second match on the card was Momokogo versus her trainer Hazuki, an interfaction stars match. Hazuki said pre-match she would treat this match as a training opportunity, which she did. The match started pretty standardly, with wrist locks and holds, but it was a bit later that Hazuki decided to take control of the match. After a dropkick, Hazuki followed that with 3 body slams, right one after another. There was also a section in the match where Hazuki did the same hair toss followed by boot scrape section to Momokogo twice in a row. Momokogo did get some offense in though. There was a nice sequence where Kogo trips Hazuki, dropkicks her 619, then a top rope dropkick. The transition from the 619 to the top rope dropkick was cool. Hazuki won the match after she hit Momokogo with a top rope senton. There were sections of the match that felt like a training session, with Hazuki made Momo take a move or attempt a move until it was to her satisfaction. A 3-way match was next, Hanan versus Unagi Sayaka versus Mina Shirakawa. Pre-match Mina and Unagi, who are both in Cosmic Angel, said they were going to team up against Hanan, and they treated the match at points like a handicap match. Unagi and Mina offered to shake Hanan's hand at the beginning of the match to congratulate her on being a Future of Stardom champ, a title they had also won in the past. But it was a trick. They both kicked her, and the double teaming of Hanan started. Unagi and Mina have an upcoming tag title match, so decided to treat the match for large sections as training for their tag team chemistry and tagged in and out. The ref reminded them multiple times it was a 3-way match, and they don't need to tag, but they ignored him. Unagi Sayaka's character is she's a weirdo, so her wanting to tag in and out of a 3-way match is believable. Dissension between Unagi and Mina was rare in the match, but when it did happen, that gave Hanan enough light to be on the attack. It looked like Hanan may be able to overcome the odds and get the win, but after a top rope forearm, Mina Shirakawa was able to get the win on Hanan with her glorious Mina Collection special pin. The fourth match on the card was a trios match between Donna Del Mondo and Queen's Quest. For Donna Del Mondo, we had Shuri, Himeka, and Natsupoi. Queen's Quest was Sayaka, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita. This was my favorite match on the card. This match felt like it had 4 chapters. The first chapter was Natsupoi versus Queen's Quest, where Natsupoi was isolated for an extended stretch. The second chapter was a mirror of the previous chapter, and Azumi was isolated by Donna Del Mondo. The third was Utami versus Donna Del Mondo, which was just full of hard-hitting action. And the fourth chapter was Natsupoi versus Sayaka as a preview of their upcoming white belt title match. During the third chapter, there were some nice sections where Utami Hayashishita and Shuri were in the ring together trading strikes and suplexes, and when Utami and Himeka traded shoulder tackles and lariats. When Sayaka and Natsupoi were in the ring together for the final part of the match, it was pretty quick and non-stop action. At one point, Natsupoi jumped from the top corner onto Saya, who was standing at the entrance stage outside the ring. I would really like to see an alternate angle of this spot though, because the angle they used made the jump look shorter distance than it probably was. The match ended in the Stardom staple time limit draw, while Sayaka and Natsupoi were furiously trading pin attempts. The upcoming Natsupoi and Saya title match should be very good. The final match on the card was another trios match, this time between Donna Del Mondo members Julia, Tekla, and Mirai against Orotai's Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, and Saiki Kashima. There wasn't really any story leading to this match, it was just a match, but an enjoyable one nonetheless. Momo Watanabe and Julia started for their teams, but were not in the match for long and tagged out after exchanging holds and wrist locks. That would be the structure for most of the match, frequent tags by both teams. There was an extended Starlight Kid section in the middle of the match against Julia, which that I thought was very good. Starlight Kid and Julia felt like the glue of this match, and the stakes felt higher when they were in it. Thekla had the advantage at the end of the match, though, toying with Saki Kashima, but her cockiness would cost her. Thekla hit Saki with a buzzsaw kick, but refused to pin her and wanted to hit her finisher, the DDT, on Saki. Saki Kashima squirmed her way out though and rolled up Thekla with the Kishikaise for the pinfall win out of nowhere. After the match, a spent Saki Kashima called out for an SWA title match against Thekla since she just pinned her. Thekla agreed to it and left the ring. To close the show, Odo Tai told the audience what they ate. Waka, Starlight Kid, and Momo Watanabe said they had the local delicacy beef tongue, while Saki Kashima said she just had McDonald's off of Uber Eats for the punchline. The final two matches were good, but with a lot of the roster missing, the show did feel a bit empty. The next Stardom show will be on the 12th, and the SWA title match is going to be very close on the 13th. This has been the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom February 6th, 2022. Thanks for listening.